promisisti, promisisti, et semini, semini.
The community of Rosebud, nestled in the Badlands of Alberta, has often been described by the locals as a place where the veil seems thinner between heaven and earth. This small hamlet has become a destination for literally tens of thousands each year for an evening of inspiring entertainment. The Rosebud Centre of the Arts began in 1973. Mark Lewandowski, who now acts as production manager for the Rosebud Theatre, came as a student 23 years ago and recalls how this vibrant theatre community came to be.
It's an accident as much as anything. There was no intentional plan to develop a theatre in Rosebud. It started out as a camp, a summer camp.
Laverne Erickson, a youth pastor from Calgary, bought what is now the Mercantile for $1 and brought kids from the city to experience arts in the country. That evolved into a boarding high school focusing on the arts.
And so they had a drama program, and one year the drama teacher said, we should do a show. We should do a show in the summer. And then he talked to the lady who was cooking for the students. She says, well, I'll cook a supper. And so they built a stage outside the Mercantile, just this outdoor stage, and then ran a committee at Del Arte.
Out of this arose the post-secondary institution Rosebud School of the Arts and Rosebud Theatre, a professional theatre company. Between the two of them, they now run 7 shows per season with more than 250 performances. The school is a mentorship-based program and houses an average of 25 students each year. Amy Burks was already immersed in the theatre, and when she heard about Rosebud, she decided to make the move from Ontario.
Now, I aim to make a rain with this. I'm going to explain the principles that she works on rainmaking. Like a lot of things, that takes faith. I say rainmaking, that's about 1% machine, 99% faith.
It's completely unique. I don't think there are any other theaters that I know of that are, first of all, in the middle of the country, and second of all, are above a community theater level. What really caught my eye was the opportunity to be acting on stage with professionals as part of your course, and that really kind of intrigued me.
Amy is primarily an actor, but because the artist community is small, she has had the opportunity to be involved in all aspects of production.
So I get to do a lot of little different things every day. I get to run sound, and I get to do a lot of stage prep, and then I do one of the actors' makeup. And I'm just learning a lot of different skills that I think are going to be really helpful for me.
And Amy says that as a Christian, Rosebud has been an ideal place for her to use the gifts that she has in theater for a greater purpose.
But we want to make great art that says something important. At least that's what I want to do. And I think that's a huge part of why I came to Rosebud, because, well, they have that foundation, and that is going to help me grow as a Christian, I think, in a really difficult business.
Nathan Schmidt is the head of acting in the school and sees his role there as primarily visioning for the acting program, individualizing the experience for each student, like Amy Burke.
If an actor is coming here, I want them to be able to leave this program feeling confident that they can engage the storytelling that they're called on to engage, that they can commit them, you know, their body and their heart and their thoughts and all of that to a story in a way that people are, again, moved or inspired or just laugh or whatever.
As a faith-based school, Nathan sees spiritual development as an integral part of the learning process, including a regular chapel time with the students.
It gets everybody in the same room to share, you know, the difficulties and the joys and all the stuff that's happening within the body that is this community. And to be able to, you know, to hold somebody up in that, or to, to be with a person in that experience.
It was this spiritual element that attracted Heather Zacharias to the Rosebud School of the Arts, searching for a way to go into the theater and engage in that work as a person of faith.
Faith is something that we talk about, and it's something that we believe is involved in the work that we do. So that conversation is just there. Whereas I think before that, the conversation wasn't there at all. You just didn't really talk about it. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, having that ability to wrestle with that in your work, I think that's what we're called to do as Christians anyway, just no matter what line of work you're in.
Since Heather arrived at the school more than 6 years ago, Rosebud Centre of the Arts has evolved. A grant from the provincial government enabled them to renovate the old Mercantile, expanding the dining area for the patrons coming for the dinner theatre, adding space to host conferences, and renovating the gift shop. An artist community has been growing with a number of local art galleries and museums. But underneath all these physical changes, Heather sees the core foundation of faith untouched.
I don't think we're changing the kind of stories that we're telling. We're still asking tough questions, and we're still reflecting on the human spirit and getting people to think about love and joy and life and hope and things like that, which you don't always get in other theater.
Bill Ham, the music director for the school, was invited to one of the first dinner theater presentations at Rosebud in 1987. Drawn in by the simple life and a passion for teaching the arts, he came to Rosebud to teach and has been there ever since.
Our very first impression of Rosebud was to see the high quality art without being ostentatious. You could see that the people loved what they did and they were willing to sacrifice and do what they had to do to make the project go.
Over the past 25 years, Bill has seen the Rosebud Theatre and School evolve, and now with the new renovations, he sees it allowing them to do their work with the theatre more efficiently. He also feels it has raised the bar to bring in world-class conferences and artists, similar to the Banff Centre of the Arts.
There is long history here in this little town of Rosebud, with just over 100 people who actually live here. Those who might wander this way for a dinner and a show can take a historical walking tour to get a sense of where it has come from. In fact, they have been very careful to maintain the historical feel of this place with new architecture, bringing in some very special elements from the local area.
Like even this pergola that we're standing around, these are reclaimed timbers that we got from an old barn that was from Vulcan, and it was built in 1903 or something like that, and we were able to salvage some wood. Inside the Mercantile, we've got other touches towards that. We had an old grain elevator that a local farmer donated to us, and so we were able to take some pieces off of that, and we got the grain head, which is the part that lifted the grain all the way up to the top of it. We were able to put that in as a decorative kind of event.
Lewandowski and artistic director Morris Ertman feel satisfied that the new renovations reflect the community's historical and architectural roots, and are confident that both the loyal patronage as well as newcomers will feel the same way. Ertman has seen thousands of patrons come and grow through the doors of the theatre over the years, and his hope for each of them remains the same.
I hope that they leave this valley disarmed. I hope that when people come here, have a meal in the Mercantile dining room, and come to the theater and wander about the town, and then come to our theater and then leave on the way home, I hope that they leave breathing easier. And I hope that they feel something of the manifest presence of God in that.
In Rosebud, Alberta, Natalie Faith for 100 Huntley Street.